This video is for the purpose of education and is 100% non-profit. Any attempts to remove this from the internet will be met with a legal challenge. You have been warned. Hi there everyone, how you doing? It's Jeff C. It is Sunday, May the 25th, and I've been looking deeper into this shooting, the UCSB shooting here with the character Elliot Rodger and his family and everything that's going on. Of course, you know that there's one place that you can trust that will cover anything that happens, any false flag, any hoax, anything. The Mail Online, Red Pill's favorite website, that you know they'll be on it like flies on fresh shit. They just can't wait to cover this kind of stuff. So they've got a number of stories here. They've got all the photos as usual, the diagrams, the weapons, you know, multiple different articles. He was a very disturbing boy, grandmother of mass killer on boy who grew up with Hollywood royalty but posted chilling blogs vowing revenge against women who rejected him. Surveillance video from Santa Barbara Deli shows the moment crazed killer opened fire on customers, gunning down 20-year-old UCSB student during the bloody crime spree. Son of Hunger Games assistant director stabbed 3 roommates to death before shooting dead 3 random students after posting embittered murder manifesto because he was, quote, still a virgin. We are in inconceivable pain. Hunger Games assistant director speaks of the horror at his son's gun massacre. As grandmother says, he was very disturbed. So I've gone through a lot of these, and the father, this is what I'm going to focus on here, this father named Peter Rodger, who is a big-time director, and yet he has really not, he's got kind of a thin sort of resume on Internet Movie Database. The only movie I can really find that he's directed is this movie called Oh My God. And I looked at the trailer for this. You'll get a kick out of this. I lined this part up here. This is the trailer for the movie, and I think you won't be surprised by what you see here. Yet messages are being sent using God's name. Bingo. Right, so a lot of people have said this is part of the New Age, the New World Order, New Age religion. This is another one of these things, and he directed this. And because of this film, he's won a bunch of awards and stuff. If you look on his website here, they talk about him. Here, Peter Rodger grew up looking through a camera lens. As a teenager, the award-winning British director in photography honed his skills assisting his father, George Rodger, the renowned photojournalist and co-founder of Magnum Photos. I checked them out too, and it's a big-time photo sort of agency. After completing his education at England's Maidstone College of Art, his skill with lens made him one of the most sought-after talents in both European and United States advertising markets. So this guy is really a big-time director in commercials. And if you know what commercials are, I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with mind and control. That's what commercials are. You're trying to do something in 30 or 60 seconds to convince the person watching that they need whatever you're showing them. So look at the clients that he's had here. Mercedes, Save the Children Fund, City National Bank, Coca-Cola, Toyota, Microsoft, Infiniti, Lexus, Buick, Acura, Honda, Volvo, Land Rover, Fendi, Xavier, Laurent Perfume, Apple Computers, University of Houston, Kodak, Freaksonet, Champagne, General Electric, pays no taxes, Audi, Ecolab, and Canon cameras. Very prolific commercial director who just happened to be the co-director of The Hunger Games, which of course is a dystopic view of the future of a one-world government, of course. New World Order as we know. They're showing this guy here, of course, I'm sure you've probably seen this video where he talks about how he's going to conduct his revenge for all the girls that turned him down before, you know. And here's his father and him being photographed at the Hunger Games premiere, right up on the red carpet or whatever. And they show photos of him. He was apparently always the smallest, skinniest kid in the class, and probably they want to sell it to you that he was picked on. This is his father and his lawyer here talking. There he is in his supercar here, a beautiful BMW souped up sports car, and his kid's been all over the world. And of course they've got all the victims' photos like we see, and here of course is something that most of you will immediately recognize. Happier Times, Katie Cooper, top, an art history and archaeology major at UCSB, pictured with a friend in Hawaii, making the Illuminati symbol. And it's always like this. Every time you look at a Mail Online article about shooting, there's always somebody making Illuminati symbols. There's always a lot of symbolism in the images. And here's one with the bear. So I'm not here to talk about that so much. I was looking into the Hunger Games and the whole connection right here. Of course, a lot of people have brought up this movie here, American Psycho, because the alleged killer here, Elliot Rodger, has an affinity for 80s music, just like the American Psycho, played by Christian Bale, right? And, you know, Hunger Games showed a teenage bloodbath, right? So, you know, they're not even hiding it here so much. They're showing the connections, and wow, isn't that something? The crazy thing, though, of course, is that he's saying now, this father, that they are going to devote their lives. Now, Schiffman, the lawyer, says, my client's mission in life will be to try to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. This country, this world needs to address mental illness and the ramifications from not recognizing these illnesses. On the surface, Elliot had everything a young man in his prime could wish for: loving, wealthy parents, a luxury family home in California, the chance to mix with Hollywood A-listers, and a sleek BMW just at the age of 22. Yet he couldn't get laid if his life depended on it, right? And we're supposed to buy this. Of course, they show the photo of the grandfather with the crazy hair, who became a big-time photographer and helped start the Magnum Photo Agency and all that. This I found kind of weird, too, because the lawyer being interviewed here refers to him as a child, even though he's 22 years old. Listen in here.
His dad, for one, knew about this. They had contacted the police. And here's his lawyer who will pick up from there.
They reported this weeks ago. There was an investigation by the police department. They found that there was, after interviewing the child in the child's home, that it was a perfectly polite, kind, and wonderful human.
So after interviewing the child in the child's home, 22 years old. Now I know he looks like he's 15 or something, but come on, he's 22, right? He's not a child. And a lawyer? How could a lawyer mess that up? I don't know. I really don't know. And so why is it such a big deal that it's the director's son? Well, you know, it could be that, you know, the people that were shot were actually shot and killed, and it could be that the three alleged victims that were stabbed weren't stabbed. That could be a hoax, that part, because we don't really see any evidence of that one, of course. The whole thing could be real. It could be. I'm not saying it isn't, but you know, when you've got Hollywood directors, movie stars, a family full of Hollywood insiders, A guy who's connected to some of the most evil corporations in the world, making commercials, which is mind control, of course, and making them for many of the biggest corporations in the world, who are all part of the Bilderberg elite, and just happens to be connected to the Hunger Games. In fact, happened to co-direct the Hunger Games. I think that is really, really something. Of course, we could also add the New Age One World Religion video, which I showed, and in the preview, of course, explicitly showed 9/11, which is, of course, the biggest form of mind control that's ever existed in the history of the United States, because it's trauma, and when you throw trauma in people's faces, you're trying to control them. So I haven't watched this film. I've only seen the preview for it, and if you click on his name here, you'll see he's a very sparse sort of career in cinema. In fact, other than the Hunger Games, a director, an assistant director known for the Hunger Games, Oh My God, and 365 Days. Now, I don't know what that 365 days thing is, and it doesn't really tell you anyways. So somebody here posted on the forums that he is worth $376 million. Now, we know he's worth multiple millions just by looking at his house and the car that his son drove around. And it's entirely possible that he is worth that much because he is making commercials for some of the biggest corporations in the world. Who knows what his wealth is at. But nonetheless, it's just something, like, I am suspicious about this whole thing because, one, Hollywood is connected to it, and of course those of us who followed Sandy Hook very closely, you could even go back to Aurora and say how many times Hollywood or A-list actors came out and made reference to and used Sandy Hook as an example for gun control. I did the video a year and a half ago on the celebrities who all came out and told you to basically give up your guns. Enough is enough. Even though they go anywhere without armed bodyguards, they were telling Americans that they shouldn't be allowed to arm themselves. So this guy, Peter Rodger, and his wife are now going to devote themselves to trying to fix this problem, to, devote themselves to gun violence, to stopping gun violence, devote themselves, of course, to the mental illness side of the gun control whole shenanigans that is going on. Of course, they want to be able to say that anyone who has any form of mental disability should never have any access to any guns. And of course, eventually, they don't want anyone to have access to guns. So this is one step at a time sort of thing. But the fact that this guy had Asperger's disease, gotta laugh at that, right? Another one of these psychiatry, pull it out of a hat fucking definition for a disease. Whether it actually exists or not, I have no fucking clue. Some people say, I got a son with Asperger's and you have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea, but I certainly don't believe what the corporate media tells me at all. And I would say to you not to trust this story just based on a lot of the things. I mean, it looks like there was a shooting at where the convenience store, and they had... Anyways, I think this whole thing is deeply suspicious. And I haven't come to a direct conclusion yet on whether or not this is a hoax, but my suspicions are pretty high on this one, and I'm awaiting to see more information.